Romans chapter 8 verse 13. See what the Bible said. It says, for if we live after the flesh, if you live after the flesh, say you shall die. It said, but if you through the Spirit mortify the deeds of the flesh, you shall live. The reason many people in authority are not operating in authority, rather they are still operating within the circumference of death, is because their flesh is ruling them. In Romans 6:16, it says, whomever you yield yourself servants to obey, the servant of him you are whom you have obeyed. If you obey the devil, if you obey your flesh, although you are a being of authority, you will be rubbished. Galatians chapter 6 verse 8. This is another dimension of authority. It said, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. It said, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. Why do you think many Christians are in danger? 247. They are seeing and hearing fear, sin, corruption, iniquity. So when they rise up like Samson, they shake themselves, they can't find strength. And you are wondering, what's going on? You are a being of authority, but you are living like a slave. It said, woe unto you, O city, if your prince is a child and eats in the morning for pleasure and not for strength. So the guy wakes up, he's on pornography. Why? He's enjoying it. So he eats for pleasure, not for strength. Anything happening in the world, he's part of it. They say, oh, this night is night of 1,000 laughs. He knows that all the activities there will be seductive. But he said, my brother, we are social beings. And he sits down. From the jokes to the ambient, everything speaks of corruption. He comes back later. His spirit becomes weak. And the devil is waiting for when he will be weak. And so he stands up, shakes himself. He discovers there's no strength. But for those of us who know how authority works, we sit on the word of God. We are looking and looking. And it said, as we behold, we are changed from glory to glory. From time to time, we are praying in tongues. When you pray in tongues, you are sowing to the Spirit to reap life eternal. And so you find the brother every day, 3 hours, 4 hours. You think you can exercise authority like that person? No, his spirit is exercised. That's the problem with many Christians. They are feeding the flesh, so they are reaping corruption. When you want to walk in authority, you will starve the flesh and feed your spirit. That's why I tell you here, if worship is what feeds your spirit, sit on it. Even when you are sleeping, let it be playing. Your spirit will be connecting. If prayer is what feeds your spirit, bro, get earpiece. When you finish from your prayer closet, put a chant. As you are betting, Pakurua Takista Fakas, Beragos Tavakira. Once in a while, call your friends that pray. Those days, when we call our brothers, you will call somebody. The next thing you hear from that side is Manda, Urua, Tako, Pakuste Fakata. You will respond, Lelia, Dunaka, Bandarura, Atavakitaka. So even our joke was prayer. When you meet somebody, Maria do Variapora Nakida Arakada Zuza, you say Menla Uramanda Villa Bragaduza Arakadida Handakaya, Veveliga Paradosta, Manta Peria Barusta, Rakapate, Parora, Jaja, Riata Toata Tatatatina. Higher and see every time. See, if you show up, you are volatile. See, water can become ice block and water can be steam. So you determine how your nature is per time. See, 2 Christians have the nature of God, but one can walk like ice block. Another one will be steam. If you touch him, you are burned. Because he's feeding the spirit. He's feeding it. Listen, feed your spirit. See, if you have been praying for 30 minutes, jack it up to 2 hours. There's something it does to your spirit. Did you not read about Jesus? The Bible said as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance was altered. His raiment began to glister. The moment he descended from the mountain, the demon-possessed knew that this guy is different. Meanwhile, the disciples he gave authority yesterday couldn't cast out these demons again. What happened? Unbelief has entered. They were not feeding the spirit. We all with open faces, beholding us in the glass. The glory of the Lord. Yesterday I sat down, I was watching Benny Hinn, and I was just weeping. I was weeping. My spirit went to another level. Just by watching another man. The man, he taught casually. He didn't even button his suit. When he was done teaching, he just started singing. Holy, holy, holy are you, Lord. In 1 second, the whole atmosphere changed. Even the atmosphere of my parlor. I said, what? How can a man master power like this? You who is talking here casually and people were sleeping, how did you change everywhere? The redeemed worship you now. Holy, holy, holy are you, Lord. Everybody knew that protocol had changed. Even the ushers that were moving, everybody stopped. Because something had happened in the atmosphere. Angels have entered. If you move carelessly, things can go wrong with you. And the dread of God hit the building. He kept singing. He kept singing. He kept singing. And to my greatest surprise, you know what he said? He said, I needed to change the energy from preaching to healing. Ah, my God. Who taught you this? Where did you go to learn this? I now understand when you feed your spirit, you are carried to realms where the oracles of God are kept. And they didn't just sink. The moment he said, now be healed, tears just started coming down from my eyes. Somebody came up, full-blown madness. Insanity left instantly. Another one came with tumor. Another one had iron on the back. I'm talking tangible miracles in just 5 minutes. He took few testimonies. He said, the rest of you go back. I said, no, take them for record purpose. They've had records for more than 50 years. They have nothing to prove. Everywhere they go, God shows himself. It has become their normal realm. Imagine if you know what to connect to and you talk, and businesses can rise up, ideas can rise up with you. Can you be poor? But we are feeding corruption, feeding the flesh. We are not stalking the spirit man.